Bonsoir tout le monde. Welcome to the final match in this year's World Rugby Under-20 Championship. 19 days ago, we began in Perpignan with South Africa versus Georgia. 29 games on, it's the Stade de la Méditerranée, the stage for an all-European decider. England against France, vying for the right to lift the trophy in 2 hours' time. Huge support from both teams on a perfect day. We've already had some crackling rugby. The 11th place playoff being won by Ireland, Japan going back to the trophy, Georgia getting their third win on the trot for their best ever finish in 9th. And then the 7th place playoff, well, Wales completing their convincing form over Italy. Argentina losing out though to the Junior Wallabies in that 5th place playoff. And then the bronze medal match. Deja vu for the Junior Springboks. They once again win bronze, beating New Zealand 40 points to 30. But now it is the big one. It is Le Crunch, the denouement to all this rugby in an hour and a half's time as they line up for that trophy. It's time to find the winners. Who will be the 2018 champions of the World Rugby Under-20 Championship? England or France? It really is Le Crunch. Wherever you look, it's red and white or red, white and blue as the fans provide a wonderful kaleidoscopic backdrop to this momentous match. So many have followed their teams throughout, be it in Perpignan, Narbonne or in Béziers. This is it. Who is going to put their name on that trophy? Now their 5th run out in 19 days, and both teams with minimal injury concerns. So they seem to have established their premier starting 15s. A solitary adjustment in either camp. Aaron Painter gets the nod at 3, with Joel Kapoku completing his perfect 5 starts. Threat and thrust aplenty from Ibatoy, Oluwafela and Parton, with the management entrusted to White and Smith once again. France, well, they stay with the same 8, with standout performers Bamba, Woki and Joseph prominent. Their one change is on the wing. Mathieu Lebel limping out of that semi-final to be replaced by Maxime Marty. Relief, of course, that their playmakers are fit to start. Carbonel and Intermac, key cogs in the way that this French team works. Ahead of these 46 young men, the biggest challenge, the biggest test of their young rugby lives. 80 minutes that will define this campaign. For some, of course, it may conceivably be the last time they represent their countries. For many, it'll be the beginning of a journey to join the 600 graduates who've already made it to the international top table. So much adrenaline coursing through those young bodies. But right now, they have to make sure they can control for the national anthems. For England, God Save the Queen. For France, La Marseillaise.
In honor of the team of France, mesdames et messieurs, pour l'équipe de France, la Marseillaise.
Emotions rampant in the stands and on the pitch. Plenty of dignitaries here as well. Plenty for the rugby connoisseur to gorge on. I'm Simon Ward, alongside me, Carlton Arner. Carl, who catches your eye in this one?
Well, for England, I think it starts with their captain, Ben Curry, so abrasive. The turnover terror has been absolutely standing, and his rugby intelligence is brilliant. In the backs, they can't go past the two wingers, Olawafela and Ibitoye. They're big, they're balanced, and they both can shift. For the French team, well, I think it's up front, and it's the tight head, Demba Bamba. His high work rate is outstanding. He's a physical presence, and he hurts you when he runs. And a guy I think he really has stepped up over the course of this tournament. Louis Cabonel, he can hurt you with his ball running. He's a great game manager, and I think he's got one of the best all-round games as a playmaker in this tournament.
Well, there's the subs, the 8 young men desperate to get on and prove what they're about in the course of this next 80 minutes. Referee for this one, Egon Seconds, a big day for the South African official. Dan Jones from Wales, Damon Murphy, the Australian, his lieutenants. Shane McDermott, the man in the truck. A sold-out, packed-out Stade de la Méditerranée. A huge match in prospect. The 30th match in this tournament, the 350th match in the history of the under-20 competition. But they have to really just keep a lid on those emotions, Carl, and just make sure they put into operation what they've been preparing.
Well, talk about preparation. The French team came out early and warmed up on the main park just to soak up this atmosphere, so I don't think that's going to be a problem. England, conversely, went out the back, did not come and soak this up, so it'll be interesting to see how they react come kick-off time. 18,000 heaving in this stadium. It's absolutely electric, this atmosphere. Look at the flags go, absolutely brilliant. That young kid on screen, I think he's going to have a huge influence on this game, Louis Cabonel.
Well, inevitably, we will use a reference point of the Six Nations in this very stadium. 100 days ago today, England came and conquered, but France, of course, took that Six Nations title on points difference. How will that play into the psyche of the two teams today? Well, we're about to find out. Le crunch is underway. That sun is going to be a factor for a while. It's been a beautiful day in these parts, 23, 24 degrees. A very strong wind. France winning the toss and opting to play with that breeze behind them. Interesting to see how that affects tactics, and in particular, of course, kicking from hand. There's Demba Bamba. What a game he had in the Stade Émile against New Zealand. Such a strong carrier. 14 carries, the block coming from the English skip. France rescuing things. Just got to settle in, and it's so easy to say and so difficult to do with so much testosterone flying around. Good clearance kick, and France can draw breath.
He was a bit wobbly to the start of the exit play from France. Took a couple of hit-ups that weren't totally convincing, but that last one was very good. The captain, Corville, doing a nice clearance downtown. Off an England hand as well, so they get thrown.
Even better from a French perspective, their head coach, Sébastien Piccaroni, said, we've got two teams who unfortunately know each other very well. And I guess that's there because both have faced tough opposition to get here. For England, of course, it's their 6th successive final. For France, it's a new experience. Aaron Painter making the most of that wayward French throw from Guillaume Marchand. Ben Curry, as ever, leading this English team from the front. There's Joel Kapoku, the only ever present in the starting lineup for England. Indeed, shows the durability of the 2 second rows because both fours have started all 5 games now for their countries in this tournament. There's the big Saracen second row. Injured his toe in the Six Nations. Has come in for the injured Quinn second row, Dino Lamb, and boy, has he made his presence felt. Nice little slip through from another Harlequin, Marcus Smith.
Smart play there by Smith, just punching their ball in behind, turning this big pack from France around, but a couple of nice runs already by Joel Kapoku. I think that's where England really can bother the French team with their one-off runners, such as the big man in the second row.
England have certainly been used to good starts in this tournament in the first quarter. France, conversely, have made the most of their points in the beginning of the second half. Good take from Cameron Wacky. What a tournament the Bordeaux back rower has had. Bamba swatting off England tacklers at will. Corville out to Joseph, wasn't quite expecting it, but did well to react. Carbonell and Intermac trying to get width on their attack straight away. Good cover from Ibatoy. Support from his backline, and it's Parton who picks up the scraps. Ben White, one of the 5 Leicester teammates in this England group. They should know each other well. They live together in the Academy House back in the Midlands. Turnover is there for France. Great work from Joseph.
A lot of raps about this kid with ball in hand, but he showed me in the semi-final versus the junior All Blacks that he does the tough stuff as well. Got a number of crucial turnovers in the semi-final, and this is another one. Look at him here, strong over the ball. They can't clear him out. Penalty all day long.
Yes, everybody's talking about Jordan Joseph, it would appear. He doesn't turn 18 till the end of July. Ridiculous maturity in such a young body. Been with the Massy Club for 4 years now, signed for Racing.
Okay, perfect. I'll work them close
in his hometown of Paris.
Keep an eye wider. I'll keep working those pillars.
This is a good settler for this French team. They found it hard to work out of their own half. They get first opportunity for points. This guy here, strong breeze behind him, so length is not going to be an issue. Just has to get it on target. Be a good settler for him as well, just to calm the nerves.
4 out of 5 against New Zealand, 5 out of 7 against South Africa. Louis Carbonell is on some fine kicking form right now. From 40 metres, Carbonell breaks the bagel for the home side.
Well, he turned as soon as he hit that one, did Carbonell. Great start for France now. England, can they reply?
Carbonell and Intermac suffered what seemed to be some cramping type issues at the end of that New Zealand game, but
no
thankfully for them, they've come through fitness tests yesterday. Gabriel Ibatoy, what a threat he is out on that flank, making his 4th consecutive start. 5 tries he ran in Georgia. That's what alerted the rest of the world to his talents.
Well, I think already he's been tested defensively, and he's come up trumps both times, getting the turnover because he's made the tackle and forcing the ball out.
David Darrick-Herrera the backs coach for France. So here we go, 884 kilos for England, 879 for France. Just over a half a kilo a man advantage for the visitors, but you can see from that first engagement, that's not going to count for much.
Reset here. This is the game within the game, isn't it? See, look at the power going through those front rows. Painter there just popping up both sides, lifting, so just go again.
Aaron Painter getting that tight head spot on rotation really with Joe Hayes. Hayes on the bench. There's the two Gloucester boys, Henry Walker, the hooker, and Alex Seville. Take two, and a similar outcome. Well, that is a big statement of intent from that French eight.
Look at the enthusiasm there, but it was this side, the big man with his knee wrap, Demba Bamba. We see him in the open, we speak about his carries, but that work and that scrum right there said it all for me. His back was straight and he just went straight through. Alexander Seville.
Well, it's always important from a forward's perspective to get the first mark on your opposite number. That was a big scar on the English psyche.
The thing is, though, that'll aim them up too. Look at him here, the big man. Look at him go to work. They just march through that England scrum just to make the exclamation point.
On the line. Just keep them. You got to keep them.
Bamba, 119 kilos, and just such power through that body. Secure line out, working well for France in the early stages at least. Coville. Antomac just not throwing that 50-50 pass, taking the contact and allowing his team to go again. It's what this French side love to do. They'll get through the phases. They've shown great patience. Parton spots an opportunity down the left flank. Cover is there from his opposite number, Clement Laporte. And the Agen fullback sends it back. Oliver Feller out to Marcus Smith. Smith's stewardship of this England game going to be absolutely critical. Not quite got the angle right there. It'll force the 22-metre restart.
Well, I like the way these two teams trying to outthink each other. That was a good one in the end, I think, from Marcus Smith. Yeah, overcooked a little bit, but I still got France in their own 22. I'm sure this will go long. Let's see if there's a counter-attacking opportunity for this back three for England, because they have got some strike weapons, that's for sure.
As the band strikes up. Parton tells his teammates what he's going to do. Entomac's underneath it. The exocet that is Fraser Dingwall follows up. Referee says that was legit. France have to play. Coville and Joseph calling. Always happy to do the hard yards, Jordan Joseph. Coville with a very accurate box kick. Oh, Parton goes up to take it. Knew what he was doing. That was clever work from the London Irish fullback, because he knew that Tozan would come through. Feet off the ground. Tozan couldn't wait for him to come back to terra firma, and the penalty is there for England.
You're right, very smart from the English fullback. Firstly, one, let the ball bounce to see if it would go out on the forward. Didn't, it popped up, so he knew, as you said, Tozan was coming. No way he's supposed to touch him in the air. He's probably lucky he's still on the field, I'll be honest with you, Tozan. You cannot do that whatsoever.
Well, understandable enthusiasm in many ways from the Toulouse winger, but as you say, Carl, maybe just a bit lucky to be playing the next 10 minutes.
And that's the emotion you spoke about. pre-game, whether they can harness that and do it in a positive way. On that occasion they didn't. Now let's see if England can take full toll.
James Scott in the middle of the England line-out. And the target takes the ball, provides it beautifully into that midfield. Hardwick throws wide to Ibatai, gets his first crack. Laporte brings his man down. Ted Hill in the 6th shirt this evening. Always used it back row or second row, the Worcester man. There he is again, 6'5" and 112 kilos, always happy to take that contact, do those hard yards, as is Henry Walker. Oliver Fella sliding to a halt, good support from Basham. Scott taken down early by Laveau. England keep the ball alive though. White and Smith trying to work that right flank once again. Seems to be the chosen avenue early doors for England. Painter, no thought of a sidestep from the Northampton tight head there. Quick transference, and then Smith gets through the gap. Dingwall on his shoulder. England now breaking that blue line for the first real time. Well, that is fantastic work from Cameron Walkie and Antonin Barrière. The France breakaways doing the job at a crucial time.
Yeah, he's got such long levers, as Cameron Walkie, but what about the pass from Marcus Smith onto his fullback part? And that was a great line run. Look at that there by the fullback. Some nice footwork, comes back, does Walkie. Clear release, yeah, I suppose, yeah. Agree with that.
Walkie reminds me of a former under-20 graduate, Sekou Makalu, the Stade Francais flanker, and of course now French international, just with that range and capacity to seemingly be everywhere at once.
The thing what was most impressive by Walkie, first he made the tackle getting back on part, and then he released him, got up right over the ball and jackled it and took the hit.
As the Marseillaise rings out around this fine old stadium. Béziers, one of the oldest cities in France, hosting the newest young talent in rugby union. Joseph punched back then by the 6 and 7 wearing England colours, Hill and Curry, working in tandem there to great effect. Ntamak forced to slide the kick through. Oliver Fella showing good footballing skills and good balance and drive.
No hands, blue.
Curry celebrated his 20th birthday. Of course, twin Tom was part of the England side against South Africa yesterday. Kaboku. What an outstanding prospect he's proved to be out of that Saracens camp, where he's learning from the likes of Ezekwe, George Cruz, Mario Toge. Some fine young second rows for Saracens at the moment, and there's another one. Knocked forward, just delaying England's momentum.
Yeah, unfortunate too, because they were starting to build there once again. Marcus Smith just challenging the line. Like what he's doing there, looking for that inside ball. Absorbs the hit. Unfortunately, just couldn't be taken by the second rower. James Scott, I think it was. He's impressed over the course of this tournament for sure, Marcus Smith.
And really a relative newbie in the England under-20 setup. Only made his debut in the Six Nations last year off the bench. Made his first start in this comp. And what a season it's been for the young Harlequins man. Only turned 19 on Valentine's Day, and a season that began with him becoming the second youngest Premiership debutant at 18 years and 200 days against the London Irish at Twickenham. And he's shown he's up to the task in every sense of the word.
What I've liked about what I've seen from the English attack is they've got variation, they've got plays in motion. I mean, France at the moment, have been up to task, but I think if they stick with it, I think it's be a matter of time before they start finding those little holes, and Smith will start going through those half ones.
Quarter of an hour gone. That solitary penalty on the board for the home side.
Well, England so far have really looked after the threat of Jordan Joseph, especially when he's doing his run-off runners. If he gets an opportunity here, he will go here, the number 8 for France. Mind you, you have to get parity first. Remember, the French scrum absolutely demolished England the last time out. England need to dig in here. Those big boys up front, Seville, Walker and Painter.
Alex Seville, part of a well-known rugby family. Great-grandfather George Biddy Halford was propping for England back in the 1920s. Great to continue that line. We've lost a loose head. We'll be hoping to take it further, of course. There he is.
He just looks like he loves scrummaging, doesn't he? That's what you
They
want in
do.
your team. Yeah.
They do. It's a thing. Propping is a vocation, I think.
He's gone good too. Look at him there, staying strong. Now he's gone France.
Well, the French scrum get the second call again. Just breaking up, as neither team wants to give an inch at all to their opposition. Again.
Number 3 changing his bind.
It's a bit of a macho thing, isn't it, in those front rows? They just need to settle down here, France, and not let, once again, the emotion carry them away, even though they're in the hotbed of rugby here in the south of France. Just need to keep it cool.
Aaron Painter, the man having the proverbial finger pointed at him for that penalty. Walker, Painter and Seville will just have to work out what they need to do to negate this power play almost from the French 8.
Very slow to this line out. This French team, so let's see what they can conjure up here. The rolling ball's very effective as well once they get that going. Haven't seen that yet.
Marchand, the Toulouse 2. Again, finds his intended target. Cameron Watkey seems to be the safe go-to man within the French line-out setup. Now they break. Marchand trying to swat away his opposite number. Walker staying firm though. The call is not releasing. And this should be within Carbonell's territory once again.
Oh, no, definitely in his range, that's for sure.
Shot.
I'm going to take the point. Interesting to see this on the replay. It was over this ball for an age, was Henry Walker.
It's clear, no clear release.
Sean, it looked like he got himself isolated.
Well, referee second saying no clear release on the tackle. Neither of these teams have worked under Egon seconds in this campaign, so there's a lot of learning going on from these early calls.
See there, the discipline from England not up to scratch yet, giving away 5 penalties. One in kicking range, which Cub will now converted. This one, the second one.
Same sort of range as that earlier straighter opportunity that he took. Can he take it again? It's a very clean strike. He actually gets the cameraman on the way through at the back of the post as well. But more importantly, it's another 3 points for France as the tricolores wave in joyous satisfaction of these opening scores from the hosts. Hardwick, quick to pick and react to that loose ball. Seville. Ben White, ordering, organising, communicating. Smith unable to find a way through on the left, so invites Hardwick to go again. Hardwick indeed was at 10 when England played here in the Six Nations. Had a good game, 17 points. But made all the difference, of course, to the scoreboard. Now, England are going to get the chance for first points. Demba Bamba
Just keep an eye there, Murph.
offside there again.
You've got to take these, sorry, Simon, you really, really do. And he's going to, is Marcus Smith. He's getting in their way a little bit here. The English team on their last attacking set.
Number 3.
Recovered well. Smith with the vision to go back the open. Here it is here. Go to the left-hand side. Nice short pass out to Kapoku. And offside was caught.
No chance of kicking in a library when you're kicking in France. But it doesn't matter to Marcus Smith. England are on the board as the game moves into the second quarter. A penalty from the Harlequins fly off gets England some reward for their territory.
You can take that all the way back to the restart. It was boggled by France. They haven't had needed much joy on their far side of the field, and England got the turnover straight away and the points.
Now you can see that awkward sun there for Ted Hill, apologising to his teammates, and yet again, how often do we see it where there's a mistake from the restart? There's Bill Beaumont alongside Bernard Laporte. Didier Retier, the former French forwards coach, in there as well in the VIP area, enjoying what they're seeing so far. We knew this was tight, we knew it was going to be tense, so it's panned out over 22 minutes thus far. Marchand finds vice-captain Jarossi. Joseph says, get out of my way, I'm coming through. Forwards trying to invite the backs in. Intermac, the little dabs through. Penalty goes against Seville. It seemed very quick and very hurried, and once again, the tempers flare. Intermac was in a dramatic fall there. I'm not quite sure what Seville could do. Already committed to that as he went through.
Well, he's in the motion. You can't pull out of that. No way. Yeah, it looks spectacular, it looks sore. I'm sure, hopefully he's okay, Intermac. But I think referee Egon Seconds is just going to talk to assistant referee, just make sure he's got this correct.
Dan Jones on the far side, let's have a listen.
Yeah, it was by one white, it was late, and then possibly no arms as well, so just looking checking that. Yeah, 14 penalty.
No arms may be an issue for Alex Seville.
We want to have a look at the possible no arms and late by the number 1 white.
The first one is penalty only. We go to the second, which is 1 white. Let's get the images up for you now.
Sean McDermott being asked to adjudicate on this and present these pictures.
We're saying late is the first one. He's already committed there, so I think that's all right. No arms, well, he can't wrap, he's tried to.
I think that's a harsh call, personally. You've got to see it in real time in those scenarios, because the impetus and the momentum is already, he's already pushed off his left foot.
I'm just going to slow down one so you can see his arms.
Yeah.
Well, he's tried to wrap there. So I think Egon Seconds has got it right the first time. We'll see what the permutations are after this. But you're right, if we see it full speed, it's not as dramatic.
To me, there's nothing wrong with the technique of that tackle. It was all about the momentum.
Okay, Gappy, I'll tell you what we see. We see that there is an attempt by the 1 white to wrap his arms. So we're going for penalty only. Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree. His arms are wrapped. The player lands on his back.
Okay.
It is just a leg tackle.
So it's just an option for France or a penalty, either where the high tackle was or where that tackle was.
Agreed.
Okay, so there was an attempt to wrap.
Yeah, I saw it.
So it's going to be a penalty only.
Yeah.
And that was
Again,
also a high tackle.
Just wonder whether the officials need to see this in real
there was a high
time.
tackle there as well, so they've got an option. Okay.
As much as we know it wasn't a no-arms tackle, if you see it in real time, I'm pretty sure you'll see that he had no chance to pull out of that.
We're saying go for the 3, and once again it's going to be the discipline, all discipline of the English side. They may give up some points. Well, they're going to go the line out.
Well,
surely they go the line out. They listen to the coach.
Here's a call from Coville.
This is what you love about this grade, though. The coach is saying take the 3, and on the field the captain's saying, nah, we're going to go for 5, if not 7.
Okay, but don't close the gap.
That's the call from the French skip. Is it going to pay off now? Haven't seen many opportunities inside either 22. France looking to make something of this. The take first from Gerassi is there. Laveau in that mix as well. A few friends come and join the party as the French driving maul finds forward gear. The crowd urging them on. The call goes for France.
What's that number?
But what a drive. I think it was pulled down.
7 wide.
That's the issue. 7 wide, Ben Curry.
Okay, time off.
Well, Ben Curry has been prince of the turnovers
Let's keep them off.
in England's campaign.
Time off.
Even seconds saying that was not legit. Let's have a listen.
We spoke about this before the game. This is a great occasion. We cannot have that kind of thing happening after the whistle is gone. That's spoiling the occasion. That's not why the people came here.
So, is that normal?
That was...
And they took it today. Is that normal?
No.
So it's our ball.
To collapsing them all.
That's it. Right.
Yes. By 7. And we're going to go penalty to you. I need you to have a word with your team now. That we can't have the after the whistle kind of pushing and shoving. Please.
Thank you, sir.
Well, that's why he's doing the final. Egon seconds, well done. Agree with you 100%. To settle down, boys, and play some code. Ben Curry, though, you've got to give it to him. He's never going to be a lawyer, though. We try to get this turnover. Is that our boy, Reckers? No.
Oh, I don't know. Well, there's a well. There's a Curry. And the England skip now urging his troops to galvanise.
And the French... Sorry, Simon, and the French scrum has been huge, the last 3.
Quarter of an hour to go until the break, and a big moment in this game already. Joseph just waiting for the ball to arrive at his feet. His pack finally forward give, and it's Joseph going for glory. Rebuffed at the moment. Coville trying to find a way through. England will feel that they've done their initial job, but it's not finished yet. Bamba, the human cannibal, tries to work his way through that white line. Marty with the offload. Oh, Kapoku's there. Walkie thinks he scored. Shane McDermott is going to be called into play once again. The fans on the far side delirious. Has Joel Kapoku done enough?
Initially, I thought he had. I thought Walkie's arm was out. This is going to be close. But what about the pass from Maxime Marty?
Okay. Try or no try, please. We are looking for touch.
Try or no try, the call from referee seconds.
Okay, we go. You got to give us some space while we deal with this, please.
That's good. That's a try. Providing his left arm from that back shot isn't over the whitewash, his head certainly isn't. And it looks like that is a good score from the Border Bagel man.
A bit of brilliance from Walkie if it is given. But sublime pass for Maxime Marty. It's going to take something special to break this English defence. Is that down? If that's down there, that's a try. I'm with you.
Hey there, Egon.
Yes, Gappy.
Here's the call.
Clearly grounded. Award the try.
Listen to this reaction now.
Try.
Here we go. C'est magnifique for France. They get the first try. And what a good score it was.
I actually thought Jordan Joseph had gone off too early. If he keeps on the back, he would have got that score. But in the end, look at this money ball from Maxime Marty. That is moolah.
That is Euros.
And the Euros good here in France, I can tell you. What a score, what a time to score, and what justification for taking that line out.
I've got Sylvain Marcanet, the former French legendary prop, next to me, commentating for French TV, and he got so excited he's demolished their table. That's how good it is in France right now. Romain Ntamack just trying to run off that knock from the Seville tackle. But that is a big score before we get to the half-hour mark.
Probably his toughest kick yet. There was a breeze going from right to left.
Cabanel sends it on its way, trying to pull it in, but with the difficult breeze operating here, the first miss from the Toulon 10, but satisfaction that the first try is there from the France 7.
Well, kickoffs have been an issue for France. Can they finally claim a clean one?
Batoy was patient, waiting for his man to come back to ground. Marty does well and get support as France work on their exit. Coville, Harton with plenty of time. Harton playing at 15. It was a thought that he may end up as a 10 for London Irish, but has done so well. Oliver Fela played at 13 through this campaign, but in his preferred 11 shirt.
No.
Ben White having to scramble through to get that one. Curry with a nice little offload. Dingwall finding no way through there. Poku again lending that big bulk to England's cause. Smith threatening the defenders, trying to tease somebody out of position. Hardwick, no way through again, and this French defence doing its job, staying firm, staying resolute. Walker and Smith to Dingwall. Oliver Fela hanging around inside, his captain's on the outside, but Curry loses it in the contact. And here go France, Jouet from their own 22. Off they go with Marty, just a toenail in touch, I think, on that far side. We've already seen a brace of tries from the Toulouse man against Ireland.
Yeah, but good turnover from this French team. They're not going to be inhibited by where they are on the field. They're going to feel the flow and play what's in front of them. But good defence, sliding defence again for Ibitoye. Affecting the tackle on his opposite. That is good work from the winger.
Yep, Ibitoye tracking his man down, making sure that he used the touchline as his friend, and ultimately Marty running out of space. Ben Curry just with time to catch his breath. He really is an all-action figure in that 7 jersey.
Oh, he's been good, the captain. A couple of nice offloads from him. Heavily involved in the tough stuff as well. Even the backs out there, Maxime Marty had a couple of nice runs on their far side of the field, taking in some water, but some extremely hot conditions here in the south of France.
Yeah, the shade beginning to work its way across to that far stand. That may well help both sets of players in the second half as the temperature gradually begins to drop. We're, some 10 clicks off the Mediterranean, so you can never be quite sure what the weather's going to be hour from hour, but generally it has been superb through the course of this tournament.
I just get the feel already that England need to be the next to score, just any way, whether it be 3-5, preferably 7, just to keep in touch. I think if France score next, it's going to be very, very tough. It seems for one of those arm wrestles.
Steve Bates, you saw in shot there, heading up a young coaching committee of Anthony Allen, James Ponton and Richard Blaze on secondment from their normal jobs, began work in October. And looking to bring through young coaches as well as young players in the England setup. There's one of them, Kapoku. Smith and Hardwick trying to open the door for Ibitoye. Quick ball is the call, you can hear it in an English accent there on the ref's mic. Seville. England sweeping to the left before Oluwafela actually has to cut back. Kpoku, how many times is he the first receiver? Half an hour gone. 8 points, the difference between the two teams. Scott, the Worcester lock, rumbling his way into enemy territory. Ibatoy coming off his wing, looking for work, using that muscularity. Hardwick. Walker rolls another quarter of a metre or so. Parton bumping into his own man. Not stopping the tackle though, so play on.
Number 8.
Walker, going to be a big season for him when he gets back. With Richie Hibbard having returned to Wales, that Gloucester number 2 jersey is up for grabs, and he's shown an all-action game thus far.
There's better fluidity with this English attack. Wave after wave is going to take multiple phases to break this staunch defence from France down. This is what I was talking about. They just need to find some points. It is a very tough kick into the breeze.
The French head coach there with the headset on said he's been keeping a real close watch on his charges this week because there's huge public pressure, huge awareness of the history that's in prospect. And trying to make sure they keep a lid on it, keep balanced. More easily said than done, I would think.
Oh, especially when you know you're trailblazing. They've never won a medal at this championship. Now they're either going to get gold or silver. So they're breaking ground regardless if they win or lose this game. But as you said, I'm sure the title on home soil will mean so much.
Marcus Smith. Well, the cheers and jeers tell you he's missed the target this time.
But in the right end of the field, finally, this English team, even though France are in their 22 and will cook long, centimetres in that.
A close call, but not a good call for Marcus Smith. All those wearing the St George's flag, Knights or otherwise. Just hoping that this England team can force themselves back into the scoreboard mix, if nothing else, before the break. 7 minutes left. Aaron Painter, converted from the second row, 3-4 years ago, has made big impact since making his debut for the Saints in the Premiership against, of all teams, Saracens. Smith and Hardwick once again trying to operate in tandem. Ibatoy appearing off his wing and scrabbling out of the clutches of Bamba. Again, Kpoku just doing those 1-2 metres off first phase. Ibatoy on the burst into the 22, tries to get the release there, but it's intercepted by Joseph. The slam through, it's a long run back. Oluwafela's going to get there first. A French trio awaiting him. And England have to go again, but go from some 40 metres back. Basham, the London Irish number 8. Hardwick says, we don't want to be playing here, we want to get up the other end. Joseph is down, but just getting himself back to his feet. There's Marty. Asseyez-vous, monsieur. Marty presents the ball well to Coville. It's relentless. This game is just... I'm not sure there's enough oxygen above Bezier right now for these teams. Basham's handling lets him down. Joseph sets it up just inside the England half, and again the offloading is there from France. Quick hands. Barriere. Barassi not seen much of the Lyon outside centre. Slow ball though. Bamber is going to have to rev the engine from a standing start. The bounce ball works for England. Kapoko swats off one. White and Hardwick looking at opportunity. Smith coming outside Hardwick this time. Scott, phase after phase. Finally, there's a whistle.
And a tackle without the ball is the call. Has to be from one of the assistant referees, I assume.
Say again, are you breaking up? Oh, okay. Yeah. Tackle without the ball. Number 7. Tackle without the ball.
Ben Curry, the captain, the English captain.
Yeah. Shot. No. We had a check on the run.
Here's the roll inside and the turnover from France deep within their 22.
Off his head.
This is a nice shot by Dingwall. That's how you do it with his cap. And then Demba Bamba causing havoc in the middle of the park, but the 50-50 ball turns it over. Must have been out the back of there, was it?
No, it was the clear out in the front of there, I think. Just see Curry coming across that shot as the bouncing ball happened, clearing the French player away so that the ball was there for Kapoku. Quick work from the officials. Sharp-sightedness.
Well, France won't mind this. It's each time off the clock, so they won't be worried.
Entente not so cordial from the English team.
But you're right, the pace of this game. Both sides probably needed this little rest for their own sakes. There's a couple of drop balls because of that fastness and pill that they're getting. There's been no respite, that's for sure. 30 seconds to go.
Well, we talk about new things and players having to get used to new things. France in the final for the first time. England, though, will be behind at half-time for the first time in this tournament. How does that affect the psyche of the half-time team talks? Be a bit different if there's another 3 now. And Carbonell makes it happen.
And probably a fair reflection of the dominance that the French team has had so far in this game, both territorially and physically.
So England desperately trying to get something on the board before they head off this pitch. France methodically going through that pick and drive system before Coville gets the kick away. Parton and Smith weighing up the options. Parton meets Bamba. Only one winner out of that collision. Oliver Feller, one of the 4 breakthrough players up for nomination. You can get your vote in before half-time if you're quick. Hashtag World Rugby under 20s, U20s I should say. Hill getting himself over the gain line. It's a slow ball though for Painter and co. Dingwall staying strong. Curry as ever up in support. Big opportunity, big moment perhaps for England before half-time. Kapoku again. Seville sent backwards by, I think that was Laveau, Thomas Laveau, the La Rochelle lock, staying diligent in defence. France desperate to hold firm before this 40 is up, looking to ensure that 11-point advantage stays intact. England with their mind on other things, and a big 5-7 point swing it would be if they can make the next 6 metres before the full-time whistle. Poku setting that ball back.
Use it 9.
Ben White leaving it to the forwards. James Scott it is. Alain Les Bleus or Alain Les Blancs, depending on which side you're cheering for. White swings it out. Good defence from Entomac. The clock goes red, but England still in France's red zone. Hill, Smith and Curry again. France double ganging on the English captain, and that door closes very quickly. Ibatoy comes over onto this near side to see if he can make a difference. Kaboku gets the offload in. Hill sets it back.
No hands.
Clear out is not there for France. The ball still is for England. They got numbers out wide if they can make it count. Oliver Fowler with the finish. It's going to have to be confirmed. Did that pass float forward? Try is good. Well, that is a huge score for Jordan Oliver Fowler and for England before the break. His fourth of the campaign. How big could that be?
It had to be 23 phases. Great composure by England, a great finish as well. He tried to jam in on defence to Maxime Marty, but in the end he got exposed on the outside, and this guy been absolutely brilliant, working off his wing, getting around and getting England back into this final.
His twin brother Ryan was scoring tries for England sevens in Paris last weekend. He's scoring for England under-20s this weekend in Béziers. That is a big swing.
I was happy with the pass.
We'll just replay on the pass. Referee said he was happy with it. He was in line with it.
Dan Jones was in perfect line with it on that far side touch. Marcus Smith with the final kick of this first half. Can't find the target, but England force themselves back into the game. France have dominated the first half in the large part. Walker's try really created the distance between them and their visitors, but Oliver Fowler's try at the death means there's just 6 points between them. France leading at the turn, 14 points to 8.
Short. Okay, just get them out the way there. Yeah. Get out the way, please. No hands, blue. No, you missed it. No hands. No hands. No hands, blue. No, you missed it. No hands. No hands. No hands, blue. No, you missed it. No hands. No hands. No hands, blue. No, you missed it. No hands. No hands. I'm happy with that pass.
Break up, Joe! Hands fast! Hands fast!
Use it once. Clear, blue. Offside. Advantage. Take the ball. I was happy they both went. Okay. Tackle. On you.
Et dans quelques instants, on va passer à la dance cam. Est-ce qu'il y a des supporters du Grand Béziers? Les supporters du Grand Béziers, est-ce que vous êtes là? les supporters de l'équipe de France, le retour des joueurs de l'équipe de France.
First 40 minutes for which France have got the lead, though the stats show us that England had 3/4 of the possession in that first 40, and but for Jordan Oliver-Feller's try, only had 3 points as a reward. But that score, Carlton Arna, could make a big psychological difference, right?
Oh, most definitely. That guy's been immense with his runs, Kapoku, but you're right, they needed that. They needed to be next to score, this English team. They took them 23 phases to get there, but the confidence they got off that would be huge. Now the ball goes back into France's court. What have they got? Can they reply? The English pressure is going to come. Can they withstand it?
Well, this match sold out so quickly after France's semi-final win against New Zealand during the week. Indeed, at half-time in that match, I'm told they sold 700 tickets in the 15 minutes of half-time. So such is the French public belief that they could be witnessing history. England, though, will have a lot to say before the end of 80 minutes in this one, that's for sure. France have already done an awful lot of physical hard labour. 103 tackles they put in before the break.
Number 3, offside.
Again, Aaron Painter standing in the wrong place.
What a way to start. The box kick, probably not what they wanted from England. Didn't go far enough. Competition was good in the air. Exactly what you don't want to do after you scored try or points is concede some. That's what England might have done here. So we see a replacement on.
Yeah, Adrien Segure, I think, is on for Roman Intermac. Now that is quite a big change. I'm just looking, there he is, just confirming that call. Took a strong hit from Seville in that first half and never really appeared able to shake it off. So the Toulouse Tyro is going to have to watch to see what his team do to the final line. As Louis Carbonel lines up another opportunity for points off the tee for France.
Well, he becomes all more important as Cub will now have two playmakers, usually him and Intermac on either sides of the field. Now this guy in jersey number 10, as it goes deathly quiet before he takes his penalty kick.
Oh, his kicking radar's in fine fettle this afternoon. Sebastian Piccaroni looks on, relieved that his fly half is in such fine kicking form.
Well, pushes it out to a 2-score lead again for France.
Tauzin trying to spark France from inside their 22. Again, Carbonel decides to hang one high, and it's Marcus Smith who takes responsibility. Curry spots an opportunity, looks at that inside ball to Parton. England reading the gaps very well there. Not sure Aaron Painter has spotted the gap, but keeping the ball for his side. There's Curry once again. Hill loses the ball, and Colville almost, but almost gets away down that right flank. Again, it's Kapoku. My goodness me, he's had an all-action game already. In attack and defence, Joel Kapoku has been very, very evident.
Okay, stay there. Use it 9.
Colville picks the wrong club out of the bag for that one.
And this French team look very tired. They've had to make 106 tackles, nearly 3 times as many as England, who are on about 34. And it's starting to show. A lot of hands on hips. They did not need that kick going out on the full because it's going to give possession back to England once again.
You look at the stats for the way that the games have worked in the tournament thus far, and there is a blaring stat that comes to mind. France have not scored a try in the final quarter of any game. They've just scored 6 points indeed. So they know that when they get to that 60-minute mark, they have got to be in a strong position on the scoreboard. Kick through is just going to evade everybody. Come on, Laporte included.
Geez, I tell you, Curry, he's good, isn't he? The open side flanker, ran a nice line only moments earlier, made a clean break that time.
22.
Off the back, the chip and chase.
Comes from a famous sporting family. His cousin Sam Olver was part of the group that lifted the trophy back in 2014, back in New Zealand.
You're taking it 22.
Of course, Twin Tom whipping trees out for England in South Africa at the moment. Hart taking it to the line before he hangs it high. Laporte stays with legs up, but the timing is correct this time from England. Coville forced to boot the ball away. That's a good clearance from the Stade Francais scrum half, mind.
That's an outstanding clearance from the French captain. Well taken, though, by Laporte. He had a lot of chasers on him. He knew he was going to take a hit, but he was strong underneath that high ball. We haven't seen him on attack as yet. He can fly. So France, for me, need to get someone up in this lineup. They need to try and turn this ball over and get some possession. So you see a South African happy team, won the bronze.
Yep, they'll have their presentation at the awards ceremony later on tonight in Béziers. Who's going to take gold? Who is going to take silver? Again, Smith once again happy to put it up there. And once again, Laporte is up to it. Marty up in support. Marty with a little chip and chase. How's that going to work out? Bounce not favouring Maxime Marty. Well, there's a warning sign to England. If they don't kick properly, it's going to come back with some impact.
Yeah, the chase is just over-chasing here to a degree. Laporte only had eyes for the ball. Takes it beautifully. He had players on the inside. To Martin. You can see he's not a natural left winger. Kicks it on the inside with his right foot, hence why it goes out.
Just looking across the blue line, and there's some very, very tired bodies already. Fitness is going to be a huge issue in the outcome of this one. Scott takes securely.
7! Get out, get out. Use it once.
Walker just waiting to feel that momentum. It stopped, so Ben White will hang it up there once again, and once again Laporte will take cleanly and weigh up the options. Not going past Hardwick though. Hardwick slipping high on the so-called seatbelt tackle.
Well, his natural inclination is to run, isn't it, Laporte? Had a bit of space, had men outside him. No intent there, but you're right, just around the shoulders, neck area, so we know there's going to be a penalty any day of the week. Smart play, some possession finally for the French. There he is there, just waiting for him to inject himself. I think he may be a guy who can make the difference, but look at that stat. The penalties heavily for England. They want to sort that out. They can't give any more penalties in this area because Cabinel, as you said, is on point.
Just checking the numbers in the lineup. The French call confirmed now. Brings Hill back in. Machon. Scott up to make a nuisance of himself, but France with the possession once again. Tozan. Oh, Walker coming through and slapping the ball down. Ref in good position, play on.
He picked it up.
Coville to Bamba. Really haven't seen anything of Bamba on the move as we saw at the Stade Migiral. We've seen something of Jordan Joseph, and now he tries to make an impact on the game. The beginning of this second half, good line speed from Dingwall.
No hands wide! No hands wide.
Crash ball Charlie is Clement Laporte. They go again with Lavaux. But the call goes for England, their patience, and this time their discipline paying off.
It was a nice line by Laporte. But geez, over the ball. Brilliant turnover from England. Who was it? Edward Hill, I think, maybe? Was it the blind side? Took a hit too, took a shot, but he gets the rewards for his team.
Yeah, Hill was in there once again. Good name for an English flanker, of course. As the changes are made in that English front row, there's Joe Hayes. Smith. Again, looking for that fluidity and that width. Having to start again from midfield. Walker.
Three blue.
France happy to hem their visitors inside their own half. Wary of those strike weapons outside, Oliver Feller and Ibatoy on this near side, just waiting patiently to see if it's coming his way. Looks like it is now. Again, Dingwall, though, has to cut the angle. Is there an isolation there? Bamber was told in English, I'm not sure how good his English is to understand that command, but the penalty goes to the visitors. And England work their way back into the French half once again. Smith. There's Hill. Hill and Carey becoming more prominent in the broken phases of play. Indecision, but it's worked not to Parton. See both Smith and Dingwall just wondering what the best option was in that phase of play. Again, Kapoku in at first receiver. This time, Smith puts boot to ball. Martia, Ibatoy in his face, but doesn't take his man down. Carbonell pushes it forward. There's his opposite number. Oh, that's a reception committee in blue for Marcus Smith. A concrete puddle that he's not going to be able to escape from.
Well, it's obviously a tactic. When England get anywhere near the halfway line, they're putting the up and under. It hasn't worked on a couple of occasions, and it didn't on this one. Good chase by France. Maxime Martin put the kick in. Look at the numbers, the desperation. There's no way that ball's coming out. Here's the up and under. Diffused beautifully by the left-hand winger. Spins away, gives the pass to Carbonell. But they've been solid in that department. I think you don't do that when you hold possession. They look very good at England. I think they put the boot away and try and give their outsides an opportunity, because they've been good.
Maxime Martin making the most of this opportunity in the absence of Matisse Labelle, the winger who made the try for Roman Intermac against New Zealand, but in doing so injured himself and therefore can't be a part of this big day. Another big call.
Well, it's been Achilles' heel for the English team, hasn't it, in this final, the scrum. France have absolutely dominated. There it is, the shrug of frustration from the English front row. They brought on some subs to try and change it up, but it's the same result. You've got to go for the post here, do you?
Shot.
Well, with Carbonell's kicking prowess, Joe Hayes and co will know that any indiscretion with inside their own half is potable by the French 10.
Here it is here, scrum time. Just going to dig first, wasn't he, under the pressure?
Carbonell, who made his Toulon, his first start really for Toulon, against Castres with Marnonu and Fekitoa outside. When you've got that side of experience that you're playing with on a regular basis, it has to rub off, doesn't it?
Oh, most definitely. And it gives you confidence as well. You're playing with guys such as that, with that experience, and he's brought that into this tournament, that's for sure. He looks very assured. I've got big raps on this kid.
Carbonell does the job once again, takes his team to 20, and there is a little bit of security on that scoreboard for the hosts.
Well, he's taken this whole side on his shoulders. It looks like he's very comfortable with it as well. Still a long way to go in this game, no doubt about that. Well, I think England need to back themselves with ball in hand. They look very good when they do. Oh no, basics! Man in front.
Sloppy penalty from England. That is the proverbial coach killer.
Oh, and it's by a mile too. There's 3 or 4 guys. Those are non-negotiables.
Kieran Knight, there he is, wearing 17. He'll replace his club colleague Alex Seville. As Richard Blaze and Steve Bates try and sort out what's going on in their scrum engagement, changing the mix, changing the personnel.
And you can't blame them for it. They have to do something. They have to try something. As finals time, we're getting near the end. We're nearly getting to the close to the last quarter. 25 minutes to go in this match.
Both of these teams have seen victory on French soil. England, of course, in Vannes. First time they lifted the trophy in 2013. We go back further for France in the old under-21 championship. They won in Clermont in 2006. But this would be new ground, new territory for Les Bleus. That's what they're hoping for.
It's an absolute weapon, isn't it, that scrum, and they're going to go for more points. And this all come from guys being in front of the kicker.
Well, you can hear the shouts, the support from the stands pouring forth onto the pitch. The England boys said they were looking forward to coming back to Béziers just to appreciate the crowd again. But I'm not sure that it's working for them right now, because this French side are inspired by their support.
Well, at some stage, Gros and Bamba are going to have to come off. See how long they can last, and usually around the 15 minutes to go. So if England can get the next score, if this misses, they're still within a shot. But the ill discipline from England starting to really, really hurt them. Penalties, 11.
It has the distance, it has the direction, it has the desired effect. France press further forward.
That is a tough, tough kick. A, into the wind. B, the straight ones in front are the hardest. C, from 50 metres, didn't even look like missing. Louis Carbonell, brilliant.
So Jean-Baptiste Gros is off, and Hugo Boniface gets his first experience of a final.
Now here we go, a chance in France territory finally. Line out time, one of the props are gone for France, so we'll see how that goes the next scrum. Multiple phases is what you want, don't need to throw any 50-50s, England.
Will Butler, there he is, into the England midfield.
Hardwick's had a good day at the office too, in jersey number 12 for England.
That's a more.
England with it all to do as we come towards the hour mark. That is a substantial French lead. Butler, the Worcester centre, showing strongly on his first carry. Curry and Walker trying to combine down that short side. Parton, well, it's an awkward contact, but it is still there for the English side.
No hands, Blue, no hands.
And now it's not. Bamba thought he'd picked a pocket there. Not legally so, says the referee Sickens.
And then playing the ball.
He knows it too. He should have left that there. Sorry, boys, he says. Now, big call for Curry. Go to sideline, have to. Here we go. Line-out's been solid, England.
Yeah, those 2 penalties inside 3 minutes, but there's another unforced error that could hurt England as France slam the ball away from danger, and England have to scuttle back and go from their own half. Ibitoy up to halfway. You can feel the positivity within the crowd here. Really is rolling down the stands and into the ears of those French players.
Advantage.
Oliver Fella.
So playing advantage for White.
Quick to pick up the scraps. Ben White up in support.
I think he said advantage White. Oh no, it's going to be advantage blue.
Well, not quite sure what that was for, but France are not waiting. France are going quickly. Support coming slowly on this near side. Sigurday into the 22. France loading up, but there's the interception for Dingwall. High call coming in on Boniface. Well, not quite sure what the call was for on that far side, but France got the nod from the referee and went.
Yeah, didn't give England an opportunity to set in defence, but what a read from Fraser Dingwall in jersey number 13. France had numbers laced out to the left-hand side. He was onside, made the intercept and got his country out of trouble.
I think it may have been for a high tackle on that far side that gave France the penalty. Now, we're into the final quarter. I mentioned France have had an issue with this through the course of this campaign. Can they galvanise and hold their resolve through 20 minutes to make sure they are lifting the trophy? Have England got the fitness to force themselves back in and reduce this 3-score deficit?
Well, the French team, what they've done, they've scored a lot of points, and that's what they've got on the board now. They've got runs and plenty of them. So it's up to England to riposte them. Got to find 7 somewhere real quick.
White, that long, rangy pass that gets that backline moving. Ibitoy takes 2 tacklers to bring him down, wants to get the offload in. There it is. Once again, it's Captain Curry. Knight. Well, losing the ball in the contact, and the moment is gone.
Geez, there's been some big collisions in this game. Absolutely huge. You've got to remember, these kids are only 17, 18, 19 years of age. Demba Bamba was one of them in that last set. Took a big shot. Look at it here. Oh, head on head, friendly fire. Goes rolling away. One after that as well. Scrum time. This is where we'll find out if England can make any dents in this French.
Well, England changing all 3 options in the front row as Henry Walker's replaced by Beck Cutting, the Worcester man.
Here's the quick tap from France. It was the right one too. Down that far side, you've got to give it to the chase of Ibitoy. But the offloading skills there, pretty to watch from France.
Yeah, Coville and Tozan working well together on that breakout. Cameron Waukee himself, a former Massy man like Jordan Joseph, the club that produced the likes of Mathieu Bastereau, to name but one. Really has been a very prominent feeder club into the French system.
But the French won't mind this, the resets, because it's just eking time off the clock.
There's an issue. It's a height issue. I need you guys' shoulders higher than your hips, please.
So the French replacement front row up against the English replacement front row, but I think Demba Bamba, Max Lamotte in the middle of that French line. The crowd in rapt attention. This time the call goes to England. So the change has worked.
Number 17.
What I was talking about, you just have to absorb the front row of this French side. Now they're gone. You're saying, should we take the points? We still have to score multiple times. Still 18, 17 minutes left. Well, that's a good comeback, you'd have to say, from this English forward pack. They're giving themselves 18 minutes to work with.
But they need points from whenever the opportunity arises. They've got to be clinical now.
Well, the one thing they've done, they've scored a lot of points in the last quarter. And as you said, France haven't. And that's been the difference between these two sides.
Yeah, England have run in over 30 points inside the last quarter in games so far. And Marcus Smith starts that roll towards the finishing line.
Number 9.
Well, still now with that smart kick, it's a 2-score lead for England. They get a 7-pointer and then it is all on. And that's not out of the realms of possibility with the weapons they have, this England side. So here we go.
Yep, they've been quite relaxed in camp this week, knowing what the challenge was.
Number 3.
Knowing that they had impact players off the bench, the likes of Tom Willis and Rory Brand now into that mix. There's Daniel Brennan, Rory Brand replacing Ben White as the England pivot. Hill getting good momentum up, good drive to get up and forward so that Rory Brand can get this box kick underway. Jordan Joseph is under there. Haven't seen much of those barnstorming runs, but he's certainly been secure under the high ball when called.
No, leave it now. No hands.
Pressure coming on the French breakdown this time. Daniel Brennan, son of Trevor, of course, trying to make an impact for his adopted country.
No hands.
6'4" and 130 kilos, so they won't lose anything in terms of weight and power. Walkie. Coville, one of those archetypal French scrum halves. Marshals the game, marshals his team. So much works off his deft handling and decision-making. Coville trying to get that pass out. Referee didn't see anything wrong with it, and they have to go from 5-6 meters further back. Looks like Walkie is down, I think, in back play. Lamotte, the Bordeaux-Bègles hooker. French forwards trying to pick and drive, but they're not working efficiently enough for referee Egon Seconds. Quarter of an hour to go. Is this match once again in the balance?
Koporki over the ball, and they go quick, England.
Dingwall over halfway. England noticeably trying to raise the bar now, raise the ante, get the rhythm up, get the pace going. Catch tired French legs if they can. Tom Willis. Oliver Feller, desperate to have more involvement now as this game breaks up. Rory Brand is caught. Good work. I think that was Boniface getting the appreciation of his teammates. The buy-on prop does really well there.
What you just said, prop, you look like an open side flanker going to work here. Watch him here. Affected the tackle, come back on the right side, came through the gate and pinched that ball. That is outstanding rugby awareness from Hugo Boniface. Brilliant.
Captain.
And it stifled the momentum, you're right. That last set from England, they really did up the tempo, especially physically, got the turnover, took it quickly, probably should have gone to their line out.
It's fine, but don't pass it into him.
Well, he got seconds, just saying to Articouville, I saw what you were doing, don't try and milk the penalty. And that's something that Alain Roland and his team have been very constant upon, not allowing that sloppy, easy penalty, if you like, that scrum halves sometimes go for.
Well, the thing is, too, Egon Seconds has played rugby at a very high level, played Super Rugby, played for the Blitzbokke in 7. Sorry, it's great to see him involved still in the game, being a referee, so he knows those little nuances. Good reader of the game is Egon Seconds, hence why he's got the final. Big moments in this final, I think, right now.
Perfect.
Who is going to be up to the game?
Please, Blue.
Who is going to have the acumen, the calmness under pressure? 4 of this England side were in that final in Tbilisi last year. Seville, Walker, Ibatoy and Parton will have not so fond memories of that baby Blacks beating that they undertook, but can they put it to good use now?
Advantage. What's the number, Damon?
Coville calling the shots.
5 wide.
Next up is Brennan. Carbonell. Well, it was a shot to nothing because he knew the call had already gone to France. Ill discipline from England, really shooting them in the foot.
Don't lift the player's leg in the
14 penalties they've given away, and a lot of them have been down in this half of the field. We spoke about the lack of scoring for France in the last quarter. Well, in finals, they've given away some pretty bad penalties now. Said number 5 coming around and lifting the leg there. That's what the penalty was for.
James Scott, the miscreant.
What's happening?
Is, well, Carbonell having some attention. He's going to have to recover fairly quickly.
9 blue. 9 blue.
Change
Time back on.
coming on for France. I'm not sure whether Coville's day is done.
He said, no, I'm not going off. I think that's what he said.
Captain's call.
Yeah, I would too. First ever final you made. Whatever, coach.
A special day for French rugby. This penalty, absolutely immense. Yes, still only 3 points in value, but the psychological value way more than that.
Well, it makes it a 3-score game. That's the thing, if it is successful. So you're right, huge ramifications.
On its way, never in doubt. Louis Carbonell bags 21 points in his country's cause. And surely, surely, that is going to be enough now for Les Bleus. Jules Gambert on for the captain. James Grayson also out of the bench now to try and make a difference.
No hands blue, no hands blue, the ball's there.
Rory Brands, such a live wire of a scrum half. England hope that he will be the spark plug to fire this England engine once again. Oliver Feller getting closer to the ball, looking for work. Has an elusive running style that could really help England out right now. The kick through, rebounds. Good work from Grayson. First to react. But the ball is turned over. The hosts have taken it. 10 minutes to go, 15 points to difference. This game is in French clutches now. Gambert. Out to Laveau once again. The second row's really putting in a big stint. No way through for Joseph.
Use it 9.
Gambert with the big box kick. Oliver Feller with plenty of time. Ibitoy says, let me have a go. Very different styles of running. The power play from Gabriel Ibitoy. Almost getting lost on the periphery, but still finding his way through, and England still getting themselves on to the front foot. Grayson gets the call from Oliver Feller.
Tackle! Tackle! Just give me the mark as well, Gappy.
Grayson taking it to the line, trying to find somebody on his shoulder that can break that blue line asunder. England desperate to get a score on the board now. To change the momentum of this game. Is Rory Brand the one to do it? The little Glaswegian pivot really making some good headway there.
No hands, Blue, no hands.
There he is again. Kapoku gets the offload to his second row partner, Scott. Looking to go again. England threatening this blue line now. Almost, but not quite. Hayes.
Advantage.
The advantage is there as Joe Hayes battles his way through and wrestles a try over for England. Is that going to be a turning point in this game?
Well, he's fired up, the big fella, isn't he? He's given his country a chance, has Joe Hayes. What a time to score, but it all started from the break from Rory Brand. Coming on in jersey 21, there was a big hole that he saw, and yep, starting to feel it. A lot of these French players, the cramps coming, and so was this English team.
Grayson makes sure it's the maximum. And now is the real challenge for this host side.
Well, he saw the hole in the defense. Jordan Joseph was way too wide. Brand exploited that, and he got them going forward. The big fella was never going to be denied.
Time off. Yeah, time is off.
Down right there. Good strength.
Pierre-Henri Azago is going to come on to help the rearguard action that France must be feeling now. There's Aaron Hinkley. In for Ben Earls, the former under-20s captain, of course, is in South Africa with Eddie Jones. There's Azago. The crowd desperately trying to make a difference to their teams as we get ready for the last lap towards the finishing line. Grayson. Well, Parton can't take cleanly, and France quick to move through and get the call. That's a big moment in the game. Just as England were trying to get wind in their sails once again, the unforced error allows France to retake possession.
Oh, one pass, just a little bit behind. He had to recheck himself. And the defence from France, which has been brilliant the last couple of weekends. Do they go the post, or are they going to go for the jugular and go for the corner?
Just listen to the noise. It is the perfect soundtrack to this match as France press for that historic win.
Number 8.
Brennan fit and able to return.
I've got to put it in context, remember too, here Simon, France have never won any medals whatsoever in an under-20s championship ever. They got all the expectations of being at home. They won the Six Nations, and coming into this one, they've lived up to the hype.
Jordan Joseph receiving due adulation from the crowd as he makes way. Charlie Francouz, the Stade Francais back rower, into the final 6 minutes of their campaign, the final 6 minutes of this tournament. The call goes against James Scott. The advantage is there for France. They have to make the most of this, just to settle their own nerves, if nothing else. Brennan, formerly of Toulouse, now of Montpellier, sets the focus for the forwards. Francouz working so hard. Gambert sends it out. Little dabs through, and the try from Segure seals the deal for France. For the first time, they are going to have their name on the World Rugby Under-20 Championship trophy. What a finish.
What scenes here in Béziers. And what a moment for that young man coming off the bench, Adrian Segure. But what about the option from Carbonell? He is absolutely brilliant, the number 10. He has lived up to the hype. He has carried this country the last couple of weekends. And in Tarmac, his partner in crime, he couldn't finish the game out. Bamber as well, ecstatic.
Well, what a time to score your first try in this tournament. He was the top try scorer in the Six Nations, Adrien Segure. The smiles are on the French faces now, and you will not take them off for a long, long time.
Well, this crowd has turned up, 18,000 strong. Wonderful rugby area in the south of France here. Perpignan, Narbonne and Béziers with his final is held as he converts. He's enjoying it now, and why not? And so are all the locals.
Carbonell, who was on the bench for that Six Nations clash here just over 3 months ago, enjoying the moment, and why shouldn't he be?
Well, I'm pretty sure he'll be starting not only for club, but if he keeps the way he's going country pretty soon as well. Louis Carbonell.
Okay, no hands, white!
23 points the Toulon 10 has amassed, and the value of them is absolutely huge. That 10-year barren spell that Carl mentioned just now is coming to an end. The party can start in just over 3 minutes. Carbonell. Segure trying to release Tozan on that far side. Tozan trying to rev the engine, just stepping out of line though. Again, it's just boiling over. Memories of that Six Nations clash were always going to make this a feisty affair.
Well, this is not what we want to see on such a great occasion. I know the emotions are running high. The French team know now they've got their first ever win, and they want to finish it off in style. And so do England. They've been great contributors to this final, been great contributors over the course of this tournament.
Disappointing scenes to finish this final with. Young men with huge elation or disappointment coursing through their veins. Just got to keep a control on it now.
But this is where you get your learnings in hotbeds like this. So the next time they come into France in this sort of situation, maybe at a higher level, then they'll be able to cope with it. Yeah, there's only 3 minutes to go. And Egon Seconds, he's done pretty well to keep it under lock, I'll be honest. So maybe just another talking to try and finish this game out with both 15 members on each side.
Who's the captain here, please? Time off.
I think we're just going to get both captains together here to have one more chat.
Looks like it. I think Antonin Berrier taking responsibility for the French side now in the absence of Arthur Corville.
Time is off, time is off. What substitution?
And we can return to play for the next 2.5 minutes. England, you can be sure, will not stop, but that cause is lost as Arthur Vincent gets to say he played in the final too. He played on the day when French under-20s made history. Brand out to Butler in his first receiver. Grayson. Grayson again, Oliver Feller.
Away, blue!
Good strength by Tom Willis. Brother Jack, of course, lifted the trophy 2 years ago. Cutting, cuts the line. Brand whisks it out. Grayson gets the call from Butler. Butler trying the handoff. Grayson backs himself to go. England keeping the ball moving. Ibatoy and Olawafela combining, and the two wingers get another try for England. It may be a forlorn hope now with 90 seconds left on the clock, but credit to them for keeping their play going and for keeping that attack alive.
And this I was saying before, they're kicking the ball away. Instead of doing that, they look good when they have possession. And the wingers, to be honest, have been nigh on the best on show for England, both of them. And they're both involved in that occasion. Ibitoy, Olawafela gets the second.
Grayson concentrates on the job in hand and takes another two. But it's still a two-score advantage, and those England fans know that this game is done as we move into the final minute of what has been a cracking final.
Let's go. Let's go. Yes.
The hosts really haven't been too successful in the history of this tournament. South Africa back in 2012, England of course in Manchester in 2016. Those are the home pressures, if you like, that teams have to cope with. Well, this French team certainly seemed to have coped. Last play of the 2018 tournament. Last play of the final. Grayson takes it to the line once again. Ibatoy, the clock goes red. The stadium goes red, white and blue. Grayson with the kick pass. It's not going to happen for Hinckley. The ball is out. There's the whistle. There's the history. The host's first final, and it's a success. Vive la France as the under-20s take the 2018 World Rugby Under-20s Championship. A torrent of tricolours daubs this stadium red, white and blue. It is a quite remarkable sight. The moon may not be out yet, but the stars have really been shining in this match. Massive, massive game for these young men. Disappointment and elation may be in equal measure, depending on what colour shirt you've got on. The learnings will be there. They will play another rugby game, much as it feels very different for both teams right now.
Yeah, what a moment for this French side. We're one of the pre-tournament favourites. Didn't start their campaign off in the best of fashion, but they got through with a good second half in their first game, and they've continued to build and build and build, and the self-confidence that they got from beating New Zealand comprehensively, I think, really led on to this effort in the final. It was going to take 80 minutes because this English team, they were just as good. They've got multiple weapons in their team, but in the end, this French side, you have to give it up to them. Their defense was immense. They had to make 167 tackles, and in the end, what was one of their Achilles heels, not being able to score in the last quarter, they did that to put this English team to the sword.
Absolutely right, and the boot of Carbonell, absolutely critical. 23 points from the Toulon 10, keeping the momentum on the scoreboard for the team, especially in that second half when they needed it most.
Yeah, what was so impressive with him, as you said, just keep making his kicks, keeping the scoreboard ticking over. And in the end, the lead was just a little bit too much for England.
Roman, an amazing performance. The first ever time you've won this competition.
Yeah, it's amazing because we won the final against England. It's just a dream. It's a dream. It's come a reality, and it's very difficult to believe in all this tournament, and it's crazy. It's crazy.
massive amount of physicality throughout the 3 weeks that we've seen from your team, and it worked again for you tonight. There's some really impressive individual performances.
Yeah, England have a very hard game, very hard team, and we defend a lot of the time, but with the solidarity, we win the match.
Congratulations, enjoy the win.
Tom May talking to an absolutely delighted Roman Intermac. The Intermac household will have a new medal to put on the mantelpiece this evening. Very, very special moment for all involved. But of course, all those fathers, and particularly the likes of Emil Intermac and those that have played the game, know what the challenge is, know how tough this tournament is. And really, they can share in the delight, the happiness that this group feel. The flip side of that coin, well, you can see the faces of those English boys have put so much hard work in. 5 games in 19 days will always take its toll. It's even harder when you don't end up with the gold medal.
Well, the thing about this English program is that they continue to give themselves an opportunity. They continue to make these cup finals. I know it hasn't gone their way in recent times, but the amount the character is built within that circle will be immense, that's for sure.
Yeah, the French with their new mascot that they've invented this week. Ben Curry talking to his troops. A wise old head, Ben Curry, even at this young age, has been there, seen it, done it already with Sale Sharks, got so much premiership experience with Steve Diamond's men, and he knows what the bigger picture is about. But nothing is going to ease their pain this evening, that's for sure. It really has been a tough day at the office for all those in white. Let's have a thought from Ben Curry as Tom May talks to him now.
Ben, your 9th final, it just wasn't enough in the tank tonight.
I can't think right now. It's pretty gutted, to be honest. Yeah, sorry, I'm just a bit speechless.
Let's look at the French performance. They were tough to stop at times, but maybe the discipline cost England.
Yeah, they're a great team. That's why they won it. They took their opportunities. Maybe weren't clinical enough. Discipline killed us. But yeah, fair play to the French team. They're a better side today.
And okay, you fell at the last hurdle, but I think there's a huge amount of positives to be taken from your efforts during these last 3 weeks. Are you pleased with the way your squad's stuck together?
Yeah, to get to a championship final, you've got to play well. So we've done well. It's just we haven't performed today. But I don't know how many players our age can say they played around 20,000 today. So when it comes to the seniors, this is a great experience for the lads, and we'll definitely learn from it.
And how has the experience been? You know, 18,000 here tonight, a place is absolutely bumping. How has it been for the under-20s over the past 3 weeks down in the south of France?
Yeah, like I said, really good experience. Just not many people spend 3 weeks away from their club, so we'll definitely take this in the next couple of seasons as a learning experience.
Unlucky tonight and recover well.
So a mature head, mature reasoning in difficult surroundings for Ben Curry. And look at those French faces. Boy, are they enjoying the moment, and boy, they really should. Daniel Brennan in tears.
Well, Ben Curry, the captain for England, really spoke about it, the sacrifices that they've had to do to not only get and make this English squad, but come over here, not be part of their usual setup, week to week at home, away from their families and friends. That's a lot, but they still come away with a silver medal. These blokes here as well sacrificed a lot to be away under pressure at home, but they've delivered.
Well, the presentation party on the stage. Bill Beaumont, the chairman of World Rugby, with Gus Pichot, his vice chairman, and Bernard Laporte, the president of the FFR. Just setting up to present those silver medals to this England side. Been top try scorers in this tournament. 25 tries in total they've managed to produce, but it wasn't to be, it wasn't enough, as Ben Curry leads his team on to receive the medal that they really didn't want to get. Due appreciation from this big crowd. Many of these guys will be back 18, 19 and have a chance to return next year in Argentina, when they'll be looking to utilise this experience that they've gained here in the south of France to better effect. But for now, it's going to be a bitter pill to swallow, and it'll be a tough few days to get over this loss. By contrast, well, everything in the French garden is pretty rosy right now. And as they line up to take that trophy, this is going to be a huge ovation from this partisan crowd. Cameron Waukee leading the team on. I beg your pardon, I think that's Pierre-Henri Azagol, as the French squad make their way forward. Standing ovation in all four parts of this Stade de la Méditerranée stadium. Over 18,000 people celebrating the achievements of Les Bleus.
What a moment to be up on that stage, receiving your medal in front of your home crowd. Such a relief. All the hard work put in. To see it as young men, this is something you remember for the rest of your life. Some of these guys will go on to bigger things, some of them won't. This might be the biggest game they've played in their lives in the rugby moment. What a way to go about it.
Carbonell and Intermac, so right that they are together right at the end for this presentation, because that has been the hinge that the French team have worked from.
Yeah, they've been partners in crime, no doubt about that, but you've got to give it to Carbonell. When Intermac went off, he did not miss a beat.
Due appreciation also from the England team. As feisty as the match was, respect being shown after it. All the French squad stepping forward for their moment in history. A new page has been written, new names are on the rugby scope now. Names we may not have heard of worldwide before the last 3 weeks. But one thing's for sure, there's many names that we'll be hearing a lot more of come the next few years. And of course, 2023, when the World Cup comes to France, they'll be hoping that a lot of these names are in the French national side. Such talent that we've seen produce such wonderful rugby. And all of this French locals will be hoping that that can be transferred to the international cause before too long. All the backroom staff as well getting their moment. Apt time maybe for us to say thank you to the organisers, the ops team, the camera crew, production team, the stat support for getting these pictures to you around the world. It has been a very special 3 weeks as Bill Beaumont steps forward. Articotville steps up to make history as France become champions of the World Rugby Under-20 Championship 2018. Champion du Monde is the song that the French squad sing for the first time. Those are sweet words for everybody involved in French rugby. Let's just check out the final standings Georgia with their best ever finish. Japan, unfortunately, we won't see them next year. They get relegated once again. But it's the top of the table, you look. South Africa with bronze, England with silver. And for the first time ever, France take gold. Well, it's time to say merci à France. Au revoir to this year's tournament, with the hosts celebrating an historic win. Special memories, special talent, special rugby. Now it's Argentina, here we come in 2019.